Today, I'm going to talk about how to make a payroll. In this exercise, I'm going to pretend that I'm an accountant for a company named Coral County, and I have to make the payroll for all of the employees. The first thing I need to do is to make a table that includes the names of the employees and their salaries, which, as you can see, are these first three columns. The next thing I have to do is to make a new column, name it weekly pay, and I have to calculate each weekly pay for each employee. To do that, I need to use a formula. The formula I'm going to use is the salary divided by 52 because there are 52 weeks in a year. And that's the formula you're going to end up with. The next thing I have to do is to make another column and name it taxes, and I have to calculate each tax per employee. To do that, you have to use an if formula. To use an if formula, you need to have a rule. The rule for this is that if the salary is less than 30,000, then their weekly pay is multiplied by 0.15. But if their salary is larger than 30,000, then their weekly pay must be multiplied by 0.28, which is what I did for all of the employees. The next thing you have to calculate is the Social Security. In order to do this, you need to find a rate. The formula for doing the Social Security is the rate multiplied by the weekly pay. In this case, you have to use an absolute cell reference so that this value is fixed and it doesn't change for all the formulas when you fill it down. The next thing you have to do is to calculate the net pay, which is the total amount of money per person, minus the taxes and the Social Security. To calculate this, you have to minus the taxes and the Social Security from the weekly pay, which is what I did for all of them. Because some of these employees are assistants and some are managers, we have to calculate the bonus based on their position, which is the use for the column position, so you calculate it. To calculate the bonus, you have to use another if formula. The rule for this one, however, is that if the employee is a manager, their weekly pay is multiplied by 0.2, but if they're just an assistant, their weekly pay is multiplied by 0.1. So this is how the formula is going to end up with. And that's basically how you make a payroll for employees. I hope you enjoyed watching this video.